very quiet. I am currently living in Mario's basement. In fact, I've been living down here for so long I've become Mario himself, and that's a fate that you may have to share with me, because today we're going to decide which location in Paper Mario you're going to start your life anew in. That's right, we're going to be going from chapter to chapter, from location to location, and you're going to set up a home in a place where people live or not, starting with the Mario Impact Site. That's right. Now, this place you could probably make like a bit of a treehouse out of it. I don't think you're gonna really be able to do much unless you're really good with tools, maybe a machete, chop some of this stuff down. There are definitely better locations than this. Let's move on to the actual village. Now, here is where things get a bit interesting. You have the option of going into this toad house, which contains your own toad. I mean, look, it has this bed here, which you're able to get fully rested from, restore your star energy. We're gonna assume that you even have star energy in this world. We're gonna assume that you kind of have the powers of Mario, but look at the decor here. You have a nice little... Actually, I'm pretty sure this place is an inn. If you choose this location to live in, then this toad might get a little upset at you. You might have to evict him. But what about this house over here? Surely this house isn't... Oh no, there's a family of Goombas here. But look, even though this place already belongs to someone, I kind of dig it, you know? Maybe you can chill with the Goombas, figure something out. I actually have, you know, had like kind of a heartwarming attachment to this place a lot, and it might sound weird to say, but I wish that you would have had to have a reason to come back to this place like later on in the story. You know, because look at the vines up there, look at like the greenery. I know it might sound weird to like have this fascination with like bushes up on the roof or these vines hanging down, these kind of mushrooms growing in here, but I feel like a combination of like wood and greenery is really nice. It kind of reminds me of my grandpa. He kind of had a house that was like similar to this one that he built himself. I don't know, it's pretty cool. The little, I guess you would call this a porch, is where you would like kind of hang your clothes. You know, it's not the most complicated thing. If you guys are kind of like a city lad like I am, this might be a bit... not trying to... I'm not saying anything bad about anyone that does like this. It might appear to be a little bit old-fashioned, but I can see how this has its own charm to it. See, what's extra cool about living in a place like Goomba Village here is that you have your never-ending supply of Goom Nuts. Oh, but my inventory is full. But we have to throw away the Goom Nut. You also have a save point here, so if you go out and get murdered by someone, you can just spawn right here back at your save point right outside your house. You also do have the inn over here if you choose to not move into there. You have some nice landmark over here where Mario dropped down and like impacted into a crater or whatever, and you have a blue pipe here for easy transportation to Toad Town. Overall, I would say that, you know, this place is pretty solid. Honestly, I wouldn't blame anyone for wanting to set their lives up here. Now, the next most obvious location is going to be Koopa Village. We'll get to Toad Town a bit later on because I feel like that's going to be a noteworthy place to go to. Now, let's check out this inn. Now, well, actually, first of all, we have this nice old welcome sign. You have like the little Koopa greeter over here. This village is just very wholesome. You go into this place, you can tell that the whole place is shaped like a shell. This toad here is looking us dead in the eyes saying, oh, I hope none of y'all ever live here. You have a bed that restores all your stuff, all your little stats here. You know, the same building as before, except you can tell it's a little bit more modern. Like, it's a bit more spacious, a bit more rectangular. Overall, pretty good. Next door, you have the item shop. I don't know why you would choose to live in the item shop. I feel like it'd be a better, well, actually, if you're owning it, maybe you want to take the place of this guy, and you actually start selling the items and getting stuff. Oh, there's even a radio in the back. I feel like this place would be better off not being lived in and just being kind of like a next door grocery store for you. Now that I think about it, the Goomba Village that we were at earlier didn't have a grocery store at all. I mean, look at this place. Do you see a grocery store anywhere? I mean, unless you're looking at the Goombas themselves. But I digress. Let's just keep the shopping to a not hunting medium. But does this tree have anything? Does it have anything? No, but I do believe that there's going to be some sort of... There is a bush here that can give you some sort of... There you go. Look, it's no Goom Nut, but we got a Koopa Leaf, which restores not your HP, but it restores your FP, you know. If you're a vegetarian or vegan or what have you, or you just like eating leaves, like eating greenery, it's disappearing. I'm sorry. To the right of the item shop here in this village, we got this guy lounging it out. Now, I actually like this guy's house a lot. It's a bit small for my taste, and I feel like that's going to be the main problem with setting up your new life here in the Paper Mario world, is that a lot of these villagers are a bit minimalistic, you know, all these citizens and stuff. Like this guy, look. He doesn't have a refrigerator. he like has this tree here, which isn't really growing anything. It doesn't look like. It looks like it's for aesthetic. He has like a cool little fan up there. The ceiling isn't like too high, maybe high for him. All he needs is just this beach vibe and a radio playing the good old tunes. That's all he needs, and he just doesn't really seem to have anything else. So for these earlier towns at the very least, it seems like if you're a minimalist, this is your style. Oh, but now we're gonna get to a bit of a bigger house here, which is home to no one other than Colorado. Well, I said bigger home, but it looks like I was kind of tricked because there's this big divider here. Well, regardless, it's a little bit more modern than the other homes that we've seen here in good old Koopa Village. You can kind of chill in this little chair here. You can enter in the back here, the study, if you will. There's a lot of books scattered about, but I'm sure, wait a minute, there's a, oh wait, no, that was just the door. But I'm sure if you like look around here and like enjoy all the, I was gonna say enjoy something, there's not even a window here. Let's just move on from this one. As much as I want to skip what's going on in here, it seems to be a bit too interesting to for us to ignore. Okay, so I actually really like what they've done with this place. This village area, or this house, might be my favorite one. So they have a hammock up here, which we're not able to access, sadly. They've got a radio, they're blowing up the whole place. They have kind of this wooded area here, these like kind of planks, but they also still have the beach here as well. Overall, I really enjoy the vibe. How could I have forgotten your backyard area for that house belongs to a bunch of fuzzies that are in the trees all the way over at the end of the zone here. I don't even have to show you. Psych, I'm showing you anyway. This whole place is home to a bunch of fuzzies, which I'm pretty sure Mario cleared out at some point. We're not actually Mario, this is just me transformed into Mario, so don't worry about that. You can be Goombario here. And last but not least, we've got, oh no, we've got this guy here, the old Koopa. I'm not even gonna bother trying to remember his name. He's a bit old-fashioned, gives you a lot of coins, which is nice for all the favors you do for him, and he gives you the silver and gold card in order to play the sick mini-games where you can grind for some coins. You can see he has a pot boiling in the back over there, not even sure how he's gonna reach it. A radio over there, not sure how he's gonna reach that either. We have to like go get him supplies from the store. You really think he's gonna be able to even move a few steps? But it seems like he has things set up in such a way you can kind of see that there's cloth on the floor in front of the pot and cloth on the other side, so he probably does get visitors every now and then. Nice to see that there's a bunch of Koopas who are still willing to hang out with someone like this. Now, I don't say that because he's old, I say that because he's, he can be kind of mean. He just keeps calling you young over and over again as if you don't know what you're talking about, even though you're being like the most useful person in the world. His plant's pretty cool though. Something I forgot to mention, even though we were, just entering into the place, is that this pipe here leads to Toad Town just like the Goomba Village one did. So just like Goomba Village, if you choose to live here in Koopa Village, you'll have the same amount of access to Toad Town as Goomba Village did. It also has access to Chuck Quizmo, who can just give you random quizzes as you wake up in the morning. And of course, we can't forget about the good old save block, so if you end up getting murdered by someone outside the village, then this guy's got your back. To the good old Koopa Bros Fortress, baby. If we're talking about a place to live, then you might want to consider living in this immaculate fortress. The entrance is wonderful. We kind of, or Mario kind of beat it up on his entrance here, which isn't very nice. You can get that repaired later. But overall, this place is magnificent. You've got a wonderful river here with a bridge flowing. More like, I was going to say bridge flowing over the river, but I feel like that's a bit backwards. The gate here, the gate, it's so medieval. Look at the spikes. Could use a bit of renovation if you want to make things look a bit more modern, but I think the water in the front and the bridge here with the spikes and just the gate, oh my gosh, it's just so nice. It really adds character to this place, and I think that the property, I think the price of this property is just going to go up over the years. I mean, do you know how much square footage is on this place? Let's go inside. Oh, and we can already see that there's like a pool of just water. Like, I don't even know where this came from. Like, did the original owners of this property just decide to like dump tons of water inside? Oh, and it looks like that there's some bombs in here. You got your friends. Honestly, I would probably make, if we were to go back here real quick, kind of destroy the people, kind of mix them up a little bit, I would probably make this place the living room. I don't know about you guys, because you have stairs here up to the second floor. Normally it's good to make it so the stairs are close by to the living room. Maybe you can put like a television right here. You could kind of put a couch here, sit in the couch, watch television with the kids or your spouse, or what have you, or just be alone and just kind of chill. I mean, screw it, this place is enormous, but maybe it's a little bit too big. We're about to find out. Now, we say that, but like, come on, you guys. I mean, sure thing, things can be too big, but you could definitely rent some of this place out to someone. I mean, you've got jails here. You could put your worst enemies in these jails. Someone make fun of you on Twitter, it doesn't really matter. You can just put them in this jail cell and find a way to kind of lock this place up, right? Everything seems to be blown open from what Mario did, but you could find a way, put someone in a jail cell for disagreeing with you or doing something stupid, put your friends in there. You know, I think it could be a fun time. Now, the one problem with a place like this is that you would feel like something this large, a home this large, would have an easy way to access the different areas. Now, we saw stairs below and we see slopes going up, but this is the kind of home that I would expect to see an elevator in. Now, some people would say, oh, an elevator inside your own home, that seems like a bit overkill, don't you think, ZoomZike? But I think that if you're gonna have a home this huge, you shouldn't have to run all the way around your home, spin dashing across your home in order to make it to the kitchen upstairs. Don't you feel that's a bit much? Now, I don't think this was intended by the previous property owners, but this blown up wall leads... Oh man, just look at this. You almost just want to stop. Just stop and think about your life. You can put some of your prized possessions in this chest here. It's like a free wardrobe. You can put your clothes here. You can go get changed, go take a shower, come out here. It's just a wonderful, nice spot. And this part here kind of connects to it. Now, me personally, I would get rid of these little spikes here, make it so this is one nice walkway, one nice balcony where you see some water, and you've got a save point here. So if you end up falling from the top of your house to the bottom of the house, you know how it is, you take some fall damage, then you can respawn right here. Now, although this place doesn't have an elevator, I do appreciate how many staircases and slopes there are. So let's see what's down on the lower level. And you'll find a larger version of something that I was complaining about earlier, which is an actual functional jail cell. You'll see that this one has actually been patched up post Mario's destruction. Screw that guy. And you can see that there are a bit of you can see pieces here of that Bowser costume that the Koopa Bros had. But look, if someone is disobeying you, or if someone's being mean towards you, or you have a bunch of servants, you know, maybe you're a king that I'm selling to, maybe you're someone else, who knows. But regardless, if you choose to get this place, you can put them in here, lock them in here, throw them in here, maybe they're made of paper or whatever, it doesn't really matter, and you can just bam, interrogate them. You can do whatever the heck you want with them. And on the opposite side of that area, across the hallway, it seems like we kind of have a bit of an enemy rush here. This is where Mario started fighting a lot of guys. There's fire bars here. You know how it is. That just comes with the house. You have to pay extra to get rid of it. You know how. At the top of the estate, we seem to have a hazard. It looks... Oh no, I fell all the way. At the top of the estate, it seems like we have a bit of a hazard here. Wouldn't want to fall there. It's definitely not happening to anyone. You might want to put an extra spike there if you got, you know, let's say, you know, you got some friends over or stuff. They're just kind of horse playing around, screwing around, and one of them falls there. You might get sued or something. Might be a bit of an issue. And now as we go higher and higher into this estate, you can start to see the real craftsmanship. You can see the light flowing in here, the chains that are dangling from the ceiling. You can see the moss-covered stairs. It's truly wonderful and splendid. But certainly nothing is more splendid than the main piece of this estate. Oh, it's the bridge. This wonderful bridge here. You have no idea how long it took for the architects to create this thing. How many bricks it took to create this thing. Oh my gosh. Look how long this walk is. I'm not even sure what you would use it for. I'm pretty sure you would just use this to flex on people. Like if you're a businessman and you're trying to impress your colleagues, or you're trying to impress someone that you're trying to sell to, you just go on this wonderful walk with them. You just walk right here along the bridge, talk to them about, you know, selling your product, the ultimate Suck 9000, and they're just going to be so impressed with your house that they're going to say yes to everything anyways. Now, this is the boss room, where, honestly, I have no idea what you do with this place. Moving on! The wonderful desert town of Dry Outpost. Now, this place is pretty cool. Not cool in the... Okay, you get the point. It's pretty hot, if I do say so myself. Now, what you're immediately going to notice compared to all the other towns that we've been in up until this point is that this place has a bit more character to it. It's actually pretty cool. You see that skull up there? See that skull up there? Did you realize that when you were a kid and you played this game, huh? That skull up there? I know you see it. You can see wanted posters up in the background. You got some bottles up there. I know that there are some interesting characters here. There was that one, like, that one guy who called himself a nomad who was like traveling the land and stuff. You've got ancient ruins and stuff far, far away from here. It's a pretty cool, pretty nice area. You've got this tree that if you spin around or go around it multiple times in a circle, people will be like, oh, you know the secret of the tree. There's a lot of interesting characters in this area, such as this one in the back alley. If you go into the back alley here, you jump around here, you'll notice your camera angle will change. Although I assume you'll be playing in first person. And this person here is able to tell your fortune. And they have even more skulls behind them. I don't know what the heck is up with all these skulls. But going back to the houses here, you'll notice that you also see a Mushroom Kingdom resident here. So it seems like it attracts people from all different sorts of places. And this looks like a bench, but it almost feels as though it doubles as a treasure chest. You can kind of see a knob there. A knob like right around here. You can kind of see the knob there. And there's an indentation below, so maybe he's hiding some of his valuables there. You'll also notice that there isn't really any light in this room, except for the lantern up here, which is how I assume that they decided to light up there. And not really like they needed too much, because I imagine that the I don't know how the ecosystem in the Mushroom Kingdom works, but what if the sun is just always out? Because I haven't really been to this place during nighttime, although I haven't been to a lot of towns in this place during nighttime. Oh, hey, look, there's a pipe to Tow Town. Now, this place is a bit more of an alleyway. It's a bit more constrained. You can see that this is the inn that you would be stealing from this toad if you decide to take it. Nice, good old high ceiling. You've got grapes that are hanging from the ceiling there as well. Is that his food? I think what really concerns me is the access to the roof area up here. You can kind of make your way up these boxes if you're able to jump high enough and just kind of scale the roofs. I don't know how comfortable that makes me. You could just be kind of chilling in your own room or whatever, and you can hear, like, sometimes you might hear a squirrel run upon your ceiling or whatever, you know, it happens. But can you imagine hearing someone just over and over again, just spin jumping or spin bouncing on your head over and over again, or the head of your house, that is. I don't know how cool that would be. But this place, however, I think is really neat. So this guy is definitely using whatever this thing is as some kind of bench or couch. He's got some books set up here, some jars or vases, however you would like to say that up here. Overall, it's a pretty nice crib, and I have no doubt that it somewhat connects to the place that's below, because you can't actually access this house, unless I'm mistaken. So he's got this whole place to himself. Pretty good style. And of course you got the save point in case you die. The main downside to a place, you know, living in Dry Outpost is of course that it's completely surrounded by desert. So the only way you're really going to be able to go get your food, other than the item shop there that might, you know, kind of run out of stock, is by entering that one blue pipe that we saw before. That's kind of your only option, and who knows how much traffic that is. Alternatively, you could set up some kind of camp out here in the desert, but there's definitely a better place to set up camp that you may have not thought of. You already know it. It is the Oasis. This place is magnificent. Look at the view. You've even got a used up block here. Screw you, Mario. You've got tons of bushes around here. You can kind of make this out into a pool. You can maybe build your own house kind of around here. I mean, it wouldn't be like too much larger than the ones that you find in the towns. Or maybe, dig this, what if this pool was inside of the house and you made this entire zone here the entire house? So maybe the area that I'm currently in right here would be the living room. You would take a door right here to the bedroom, and there's like some kind of glass door all across here where you can just, maybe a glass door all around the pool that you could just jump into. That'd be pretty cool. You can have this place be the kitchen up here where you can just, you know, hit this little block here and get fully restored. I think that'd be a pretty sick area. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Are you worthy of having a house as cool as the ruins here? Is it worth it? Is it worth having your house here where there's no furniture whatsoever? Most likely, we're about to check. There's probably no kitchen, no appliances, no nothing here. Just ruins. There's no blue pipe for you to take to Toad Town. There's no item shop in here. It just looks really, really cool. Let's see if it's a worthwhile endeavor. Look at the chain chomp statues. How am I already be? Straight out the gate, we've got a save block, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It kind of makes me scared. It's like going into a house and seeing like a first aid kit as like the first thing. It's like, oh, okay, well, it's nice to know that this house is a first aid kit, but why do we need one? something you're gonna appreciate right off the bat are all the windows. It might get a little hot and stuffy in here, so it's nice to get some airflow going, especially if it kind of gets to be nighttime. Because if this desert works like deserts do in real life, then you know how it is. It's gonna get really, really cold. So actually, that may not be a good idea. You might there's no shutters. Like, how do we haul this thing up? There's no curtains or anything. Wow, okay, if there's anything that's an example of a fixer-upper, it's definitely these ruins. I mean, even the pillars are broken here. And then you've got rooms like these, which were clearly designed for one purpose, which is just this one was like full of sand that you had to drain. So it's like, it kind of stunts your creativity. Like, what are you supposed to do with a room like this? Turn this into a bedroom with this huge hole in the floor? Like, what were the architects thinking? Why in the world was this designed like this? Was it just designed for some kind of puzzle? It's like, oh, someone's gonna come in here. We're gonna have this place be designed specifically for a puzzle. We're gonna completely ruin all of our integrity for all of our designs here. We're gonna make it so no one can place a bed here. Maybe you can place a trampoline or something? I don't know, man. This room's kind of bunk. And this pit of sand. Can you believe it? They actually have an enormous pit of sand here. Do you know how much work it's going to take to get this removed? And it's not like you can get an excavator or whatever they use to get large amounts of dirt or soil removed from something to get rid of this. You have to do this yourself, or maybe get a lot of people to like shovel it out. But then where are they going to shovel it? They have to go all the way outside and I guess put it on your front yard? I'm not exactly sure. Do they put it in bags and haul it out? That's up to you, man. And then you've got a ton of buzzy beetles over here, a lot of vermin akin to rats, and you can't even jump this unless you have a good old friend to take you aside. And that place up there that we're even trying to get to has like a hole in the wall. More sand! And another room. The hole in the wall room is just a copy of the other room, so it's not even like a completely unique design. The architects here just reuse some designs, and it's another trap here. A second trampoline room, perhaps? And if you go down the stairs here and murder one of the buzzy beetles and enter this room, you'll discover, oh my gosh, I thought we were about to see another trampoline room. Now, this place feels very specific as well. It feels like a clear room where you're meant to store something. I appreciate the little designs you have here. You can see some coins, some good old Mario coins if you're a fan of Super Mario. You can see some chain chomps here, which is nice. Some lighting with the fire here. I'm just not exactly sure where, me personally, what I would put in this room. Maybe I would put like one of my figurines here. You know, if you're a collector of anime figurines, you might want to set some figurines here. You know, put your waffle, or your husbando here. You know, just so you can kind of like praise them in the morning. You know, you come into the room and you're like, oh my god. Or you can like hang up your clothes here to dry. I don't know what you do in this room. And then you've got this puzzle room here. Like, I'm not sure what this would be used for. I guess you can kind of, screw around here, take some friends here. Like, can you imagine bringing some friends to your house and you're like, all right, guys. So we're going to play a little bit of a game, we're going to hit some buttons over here. I don't even think this is the main puzzle room. This is like a test to the puzzle room. Like, the main puzzle room, I believe, is like all the way. No, it's not even over here. Oh god, I'm getting lost in this place. That's how complicated it is. Yeah, the main puzzle room is here. It says that there's treasure over there, which again, you have to get rid of because the treasure's already been found. So this little sign that we have up here is a bit outdated. And I guess this whole puzzle room, you just screw around with people in. I'm not sure what you can actually do with this place. I mean, maybe make this into some kind of like mini museum or something like that? I'm not exactly sure. I mean, you might place some of your greatest valuables in this chest, push it down, lock it back up. You might want to install a door here. This whole place is just starting to look like an enormous fixer-upper. And something I can appreciate about this place, though, is that you've kind of got this railing here that's above the treasure chest that you can kind of walk alongside, but it's kind of a safety hazard, so I'm not sure what you would want with it. There's also something to be said about the fireball lamps, which you kind of mentioned earlier. Do they just never go out? I don't see it going off of any kind of fuel source. There's no coal anywhere. It's not burning any wax. It's just kind of there indefinitely, which is kind of scary. Now we're gonna get to the lower levels, and you're gonna start to see a problem. There's no elevator here. You're gonna have to jump and break your leg, unless you hit the, hold on, let me try that again. You're gonna have to jump and break your legs, unless you're Mario or whatever, unless you transformed into him, or you hit the spring here. Like, you can't miss. You have to hit this spring. If you go up to see, like, getting up there is easy, right? But if you, like, okay, I gotta get to the kitchen. I gotta make breakfast. If you make a leap for it and you don't hit the spring, you're dead. We've got like another worshiping room, I guess. This long, drawn-out hallway, like, getting around this place, you're starting... Look, there's even a map to this place! That's how confusing it is! Look, this place is so confusing that the architect that made this place had to install a map. They were like, there's no way that the homeowners here are going to be able to figure out the the plans to this place. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna post it right here and let them figure it out. I wish this place is like, maybe if this home had an elevator or something that was like right here, you know, kind of like the X-Naut base in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, maybe it'd be a bit more tolerable, but come on, guys. I know it looks cool and all, but it's just not functional. And the last room is blocked by sand. If there was anything else that was going to tell you that these ruins would not be a suitable home, this is it. Unless you're like the ultimate introvert and you don't ever want to be found ever again by any of your family or friends, or you've abandoned all hope at leading a meaningful life, then maybe you want to go to this, you know, this dump. You know, the architecture's cool and all. Like, maybe it would be cool as like a Terraria dungeon or a Minecraft dungeon or something like that. But as a home to live in, it's gonna get a no from me. Okay, now we're getting into the very, very nice pick. Something tells me a lot of people are gonna pick the mansion by the end of this video, but hey, we'll see. So, to start things off, we have a blue pipe, which again leads back to Toad Town. More specifically, by the way, the Toad Town sewers, that's where these blue pipes lead. So you're gonna have to, you know, waft your way through the sewers and kind of be stinky by the time you actually get into the town. Might need to take a shower along the way, but whatever. It's still access to Toad Town. Got a save block in case you get, you know, absolutely consumed by Tubba Blubba, who isn't alive at this point, so I'm pretty sure you're fine. And what's more is that the other places didn't really have this. I don't think many of them do. This will heal you, right? We got the little heart thing here. So if you're going through any trouble, you can do that, and then bam, you're fully healed. You got anything incurable or whatever? You're hurt, you're injured, right? Like maybe something's not, you know, scabbing up properly. You just hit this and bam, you're fully healed. But let's go inside the manor, inside the mansion. What you'll first find is that it is completely filled with booze. Doesn't seem like there's as many in the main living room here. I believe that there's more in the other rooms and the stuff downstairs. But regardless, the architecture here is absolutely superb. It might be a little old-fashioned for some people, but personally, I dig it. I like the chandelier that comes down. I believe this thing kind of... Oh no, this isn't the chandelier that falls on you. That's a different one in a different room. Spoilers. I love the look of the staircase up here. Normally, I'm not a fan of green when it comes to houses and stuff like that, but I kind of like this one. You have like some boo roommates. I mean, sure, you can kick all the boos out, but something tells me they're not really going to want to listen to you. Now, what's amazing about this room here is that when you go into this vase, you'll become an 8-bit version of yourself. Isn't that sick? So if you really want to see what you would look like in 8-bit, you can just jump into the vase and then bam, you're good. You can switch back whenever you want. You can just keep going into the vase over and over again. You can throw whatever you want in here and it'll turn to 8-bit. I think that's pretty cool. You got a rocking chair here and this wonderful window. Wow. You can see right out in the back and you can see tons of boos floating around. Like if you get to know all the boos and get to know their names and stuff, this could be a really chill hangout spot. But unfortunately, you kind of have a hole in the floor. I imagine you can kind of put one of these boxes over it. Although I don't think the boxes have enough width to cover it. But let's see what happens when you actually go down the hole. You'll see... Yeah, we're kind of in a library area. I'm gonna be honest, this isn't the best way to kind of experience this library. Sure, you got a chair, it's not even fully tucked in. It's kind of misty in here, there's cobwebs everywhere. This place is a little bit of a fixer-upper, but unlike the ruins from Chapter 2, this is a fixer-upper that I really feel like is worth it. It's already furnished is a big part of it, because the ruins that we saw earlier wasn't really furnished at all. There's like sand everywhere. But like here, look, you've got clocks, there was like chandeliers in all different kinds of places. We just saw the library, there's tables, there's chairs. It's quite an amazing place. And oh, we're about to come across the one place right up here. This is the chandelier, right? So if you try opening this chest, this chandelier kind of falls on you. It's a bit of a safety hazard. I like to think that it's just the boos doing a little bit of trolling, but I digress. Back in the main hall, if we decide to go up these stairs, we can enter the second floor, where you can, you know, normally you're supposed to be able to talk to those kinds of paintings and stuff, but I guess they're feeling a bit shy. We've got another boo here who you're able to converse with, but let's take a look on the first room. Now, we have Ooh, I am so sorry for not remembering what this is. But here you can play some music. We're not playing any music now, but you can play whatever tracks you want here. It probably doesn't take any CDs or anything like that. It seems to be a bit more old-fashioned than that. Or, it takes discs, CDs, discs. When I think of CDs, I'm talking about like the... Oh man, I'm gonna come off really ignorant if I keep talking right now. I'm stupid, I don't know about music stuff, don't worry about me. All I know is that the modern stuff probably wouldn't work on this unless you've got some stuff here that works for it. And the third floor access isn't by any old stairs. You have a unique feature of this house where if you talk to this painting, or interact with it, then it'll let you go all the way up, and you can enter probably the coolest room, or at least the one that's a bit more high fashion. This is Beau's room, where she has her own butler. Now, I'm just gonna be nice with you. If you choose this house, then you get your own butler here. Doesn't that sweeten the deal? You get your butler. And you get the nice blue carpeting. Wow, I really love this, because normally you get like the red carpeting, or you might get like some kind of brown or tan carpeting. Blue carpeting looks absolutely prestige. You can even see on the architecture up there. Architecture is just what I say for anything that I don't know the name of. There's like an arc up there, the chandelier, everything's just this wonderful blue color. Even the railing here kind of has like a purple tint to it. I just love it. But of course, we can't forget about the basement area that we almost skipped over here. Now, as if things couldn't get any better for this house, you'll notice that if you go into the basement, which we were already kind of in, like we already went down one level, this is like the basement even further down, you'll notice that this place has a shop. So like there's a boo here who makes a living off of selling stuff to the other boos. So you don't even need to go to Toad Town because you can grab whatever you want here. He even sells a life shroom, which lets you revive if you end up dying. It's actually really cool. Like, and if things get too hot in this place, maybe, you know, like the sun's coming in and you're like, oh man, this is too much. You can get a snowman doll to kind of chill you up. You can get a stopwatch if you need some time to work on stuff, or a mystery if you want a chance at just dying. And the last little thing here, you know, up the stairs from the shop area and to the right, you'll notice that there's this room here, which is a bit empty, but if you go down this hole, then you'll enter a room that has a lot of just kind of excess furniture and stuff. And, oh, it's just the shop again. Overall though, I think this is a really good location. You even have like these safety gates and everything. Like, just look at this place. You even got like some bushes around here. It's just wonderful scenery. Like, some people might think it's really dreary and stuff, and it may not be your style, in which case, we'll definitely find a place for you yet. Now, one option here that I wasn't even sure if I was going to cover because I don't know how many of you are actually going to consider it is this place, Gusty Gulch. It's just... the house is like the size of you. Like, do we even consider these things houses? Like, look at me go in here. Like, you could barely move around a few inches. Is that really what you want? Is that really what you guys want in a house? Like, the doors falling off, there's like absolutely no structural integrity at all. I don't even know why I'm bothering to show this. I doubt any of you are gonna choose it, but whatever. And like, even this place here. This place here is like a little larger, but like, you can tell it's completely not worth it because it's totally falling apart. Even if Tubba Blubba wasn't a part of this like whole scenario here, because I imagine Tubba Blubba running through here and eating all these boos might cause them to like, maybe he's like destroying the houses too, but you can imagine what these houses would look like even if they weren't destroyed, and you can tell it's just, they're not in good shape. But then you've got Tubba Blubba's mansion. Now, this place is large, don't get me wrong, but you're gonna see a problem with it the moment we step in, and it's that it's a bit too large. Like, something about this place kind of makes you feel miniature. You'll notice that, and it makes sense because Tubba Blubba is like absolutely massive, right? But you'll see that the doors are just way too huge. Like, can you imagine like lifting these doors, like reaching up for them? The tables are just way too tall for you to use as well. The cobwebs are almost like too high up to get. I get that the Boo's Manor kind of had a similar problem, but like there's also cracks in the walls. The hallways are absurdly long. Like, I just don't know how you're supposed to kind of reconcile with all these faults. I mean, look at this. If you want to actually use this table, you have to jump on the box, jump on the chair, and you're probably not even tall enough to like look over the table. You have to jump up here and look at the book too. Even the basement down here doesn't really feel as nice as the one in Boo's Manor. And the stairs too, like the railing is over double your size. One plus with this place is that it's not really filled with any monsters. So if you were really down to like changing all of this, like bringing down the rails here, making the tables a bit shorter, the chairs a bit shorter, and like furnishing everything. This place is technically bigger than the Boo's Manor, so I guess it might be worth it, especially because you wouldn't have to evict any Boos or be, you know, scared about them like rebelling. And if you like the outside being like, you know, daylight, I could kind of understand why someone may want to live here, but you're gonna see like another problem with it too. I mean, like, look at this balcony here. Like, these railings don't even do anything. You can easily fall off. I don't know, just the more I look, like, at this house, there's a huge hole in the wall here that Mario probably just left willy-nilly. There's, like, 3 holes down below. Like, the more you look at it, the worse it gets, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh in it. It's just every single time I go into there's a spike room? There's literally a spike room. Like, look at that, dude. You really think you can live that? I mean, even if you can, you know, you're gonna come back at the last save point. And I'm pretty sure this place has a save point anyways. So, maybe I'm being just, like, a little too harsh. But, like, look at this. How are you even supposed to get to bed? Can you imagine, like, oh, I'm sleepy and you can't even jump up to this thing. This is Tubba Blubba's room, which, again, has a bed that you would have to, like, climb up to and lay on. So maybe I'm just thinking like this place just isn't the best because of all the big furniture. I guess if you destroy all the furniture and make it to your size, then I could kind of see the appeal of this place. And as weird as it sounds, we're still not done with this chapter yet because we have to go over another possible living location, that being the windmill here. I have no idea why you would situate yourself at the bottom of a windmill, but here we are. So you have that area back there, which kind of is like some living quarters. This hallway here, you know, got some Goombas. You know, this next area here has got some Goombas as well. They're hyper Goombas too, by the way. So you gotta make sure that if they like start charging up their attacks or whatever, that you'll end up getting completely destroyed. And then you've got like, I guess you've got this dead-end room right here. I'm honestly not sure how you would, like, format this place at all. Like, would you, like, clear out the hallway? Like, maybe get an excavator or something down here? I keep saying excavator as if that would do anything. Like, would you clear out this whole place and make it, like, a wide-open room? Like, all these rooms are connected to one another? I don't know. It feels kind of like a lost cause to me, honestly. Now, this next chapter's one is going to be a little bit different because, you know, it's a toy box. It's Shy Guy's toy box. This whole place is the toy box. So, you have to think to yourself, like, would you be living in the toy box here? Does that count? And I guess it would. I'll say it does count, because this is technically, like, one small box in the outside world, and you are inside of it. So if you choose to live here, then I mean, I guess you live here, but since I don't want to run throughout every single part of this entire location, let's just go over some key little points or figures here. So for example, we have a train that can go to each location, right? Now, if you were a little worried, like, oh, why would I want to live in this place, you know? How do I even get to each part of it? You have this train, and this guy is always here. You can hire him, maybe pay him some coins. You know, you don't want to do some unpaid labor. That's very, very bad practice. Don't do that. That's malpractice, right? Pay him his coins. Pay him above minimum wage, all right? He deserves it. I think he deserves it. And you can go to the different kinds of stations, right? So if you want to stop at the pink station, you can go there pretty easily, or the green station or red station, and so on and so forth. If this train wasn't here and you had to walk everywhere, then this place would be a bit more of a bust. Now, this is an example. You know, I said I was going to show the notable areas. This is an example of what a lot of the hallways in this place look. It's just filled to the brim with Shy Guys who are kind of mean towards you. Like, the Boos are kind of nice and they'll let you live in the area. At the end of the day, though, this is Shy Guy's toy box, and they do not want you in here. Like, sure, there's like a lot of cute scenery and everything, but you're gonna have to go from hallway to hallway trying to avoid these guys. One of the main problems, though, is that unlike some previous areas we've seen, there isn't actually a shop. And you may not see that as a big deal because Toad Town is like right outside, and you can just go there whenever you want, but I feel like there's a big difference between having a grocery store in your house and having a grocery store a couple blocks away. You know what I mean? It's just more convenient to have one in your very own house, and this is the grocery store for Shy Guy's toy box. You would just walk into this room and freaking slaughter! This is where you fight the boss. Now, if you were to make any place your living room, this is personally where I would make mine, in part because it's a bit close to the train. There's a healing station over there, a save point over there, and this just feels like, you know, you got high ceilings, you got stuff dangling from the, ceiling, you got all these building blocks here. there's something to appreciate here in terms of like home architecture, but other than that, I'd personally say Shy Guy's Toybox is a bit of a no-go. It's just filled with too many hazards and too many things you want to avoid. Ah, Yoshi's Village, or Yoshi's Island if you so please. This place would be a wonderful place to live in. All the Yoshis are just so nice to you. I believe that there's there's like kind of a sitting area over here. Yeah, there's the Yoshi chieftain over here. You got some statues everywhere, but this isn't even the main part of the village. This is just the introductory area. Now this over here is the main area of the village. You've got your item shop here, and like you've got everything in like cute little huts. Oh, just look at this. I love the tropical vibe that you get here. You even have like some tasty tonics. You can like juice up with some honey syrup, some super shrooms to keep you nice and healthy. I believe there's an inn to the right. Oh, there's a save point here in case you die out in the wilderness. This inn isn't really, doesn't look like the most comfortable inn. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, like the bed, you're like laying down on a hardwood and then you have like leaves as a blanket. Definitely for me, I don't think this would be long enough. You sit on stones to talk to people. It's definitely really, really old-fashioned, and I could totally see why it wouldn't really be people's vibe. But guys, look at the baby Yoshis. They're so cute. Look at the adult Yoshis. They're so cute too. Like, can you imagine just vibing with them, man? Like, and look, if you need to kind of go back to modern society every now and then, look, you got a blue warp pipe. You can just go back to Toad Town through the sewers whenever you like. Like, if you just want to go back and you're like, okay, cool, I like the island life. I just kind of want to see the city for a moment. You just go into this blue warp pipe and you're totally fine. But what about when you go up to this spring, up this tree, you can see all the ravens over here just kind of grooving. There isn't as much to do here, and if you're not really a fan of heights, then like trying to get down from here might be a little scary because you jump on the spring and it brings you all the way back up, so you're gonna have to kind of make a leap down and break your legs. But hopefully the Yoshis can help you out with that. The jungle itself, I'm not really sure is worth living in, but we should give an honorable mention to the Raven's Tree over here. Now, the Raven's Tree over here is a really, really wonderful location. You wouldn't really even be able to tell it was a house that people were living in when you look at it from, like this angle over here. You would just see it as a really, really big tree, but when you look at the entrance, then that's when things start to change. Now, this place is a bit more vertically inclined. It's kind of hard to see this as being an actual house, you know? Like, this is more so, I would say, like a shell. There's no furniture in here, there's no real, like, flooring or anything, but just use your imagination for a moment. Like, imagine if, like, right here, there was an entire floor, right? And then, like, you would use this to go down a few steps, right? And then maybe right here, there was another floor, right? And then you use this to go down some steps, and then this is its own little part, right? So imagine if you're kind of going up here, right? Maybe there's like 4 or 5 floors. Like, imagine if that's kind of what you did. Like, let's say you had some money, you grinded some money at like the arcade or whatever, you know, the the arcade equivalent, whatever that would be in a Paper Mario world. And you can kind of, you know, I say fixer-upper a bit, but this is, I don't know, would you call this a fixer-upper? It's basically just a shell that's like waiting for furniture to be put in there. You can go into this little spot right here. I believe this is going to be like a similar situation to the last. Yeah, it's basically just a bunch of the same thing, so. Oh, but like, there is one last little part here. You got like this long little branch, and the king, I guess. If you want to vibe with him, talk to him about like different designs for the house. Frankly, I didn't really want to talk about this one too much because it'd be a pretty stupid idea, but you could always live inside of a volcano, except the one here that we're currently going through right now. You know, there's lava, magma lava everywhere. It's erupted very recently, so it is very much considered an active volcano. This thing is not dormant, and it definitely spews out like all of its lava and ash everywhere. Like, it's not one of those volcanoes that kind of just like, you know, a little bit, right, like off the side. It spews that maybe over the village, possibly in the future. That'd be a little scary when you think about it. Like, can you imagine chilling in Yoshi's village right here and then seeing the volcano just completely erupt and destroy everything? That might be a reason to not live here, and I could totally get that, but living in the volcano itself is probably not the best idea. Flower Fields is kind of in a similar situation to Shy Guy Toybox, where there aren't really any true indoor areas. I mean, you could use your imagination and imagine what it would be like to kind of carve this tree out, but then you'd be kind of a horrible person, so let's look around and see what we can find. This area over here where the sun was is kind of like a mini castle. I keep saying you can carve out the insides of stuff, but that's really your main option here. You would have to take this whole place, which is a bit parched, it looks like, maybe make some greenery out of it. You could like possibly put a door right around here, and then you can add, anything you like after. It's just, I don't know, a lot of these places in like Shy Guy Toybox and in Flower Fields here really would need a lot of renovation, and I'm not saying that other locations that we've already looked at wouldn't need any renovation, but it's pretty clear here that this place was not meant to be lived in, and it was meant to be a bit of a tower, so let's see if we can find anything else. Well, going back to this main area here, you could possibly build a house in like just the flowers, like maybe right here, but I personally would feel extremely uncomfortable building a house made out of wood next to a tree here. I feel that feels a little bit disrespectful and borderline horrifying, or a horrifying experience for the tree and any other plant that lives here. Maybe you can make it out of stone or something that would make things easier, but I feel like it'd just be better to kind of leave Flower Fields alone. But there is one place I think would be nice as a home. That's right, way up here in the cotton candy clouds where you can see rainbows and everything. These clouds you can most definitely stand on. What if you were to make some kind of, I don't know, like cloud house or something? Would that be weird? Like, these clouds look completely hard of material, and you can't really fall through them or anything. I mean, sure, there's always the possibility of falling to your death, but like, isn't the view worth it? You can see like cherry clouds in the background, some ice cream clouds. Like, if there was no concern about falling all the way down there, I mean, you have a safe point, you probably won't be taking any fall damage, then I feel like a place like this would be a lot better than living in the Flower Fields itself. Although, I wonder how hot it would get up here. Maybe it'd be a little bit harder to breathe because it's a bit higher up in the atmosphere. Not exactly sure. But other than that, I don't really see many places in Flower Fields being a suitable area. Like, even if you were to try and force it, what's to stop you from running into an Amazy Daisy here and getting like one shot, you know what I mean? You could just be on your way back to Toad Town, and then the Amazy Daisy would just block your path and kill you. It just doesn't feel like a very comforting situation. Ah, yes, Shiver City, what a wonderful choice. You've got a bunch of penguin lads everywhere, it's always snowing. I've only seen snow like 2 or 3 times in my life. Some of you may be laughing. It's like, oh man, no, I would never live here if it's always snowing. I mean, it looks cool to me. I have to deal with the heat a lot. But let's take a look inside these places. Like, they're huge, there's a lot of room, they seem to be furnished already. Like, sure, you'd have to evict some of the people here, but that doesn't really matter. Oh, you've got like, okay, well, you've already got the cabinets, you got the shelves up there, you got like, oh, a fireplace. This whole place just feels very homey, very wholesome. Let's take a look at some of the other buildings. This one here, oh, I thought it was going to be a bit of a 2-story one. This one's a bit smaller, so if you don't really need or have a need for the size of the one that we just saw earlier, you can go into a cute little small one right here. Ah, and in the main square, you can take the warp pipe back to Toad Town. Now, the difference between this warp pipe and the blue warp pipes that we saw earlier is that this one does take you kind of to the sewers, but you have to walk a little bit more in order to actually make it to the Toad Town section, so keep that in mind if you're choosing to like bunk up in this place. But hey, there is a save block here. Nothing to heal you, unfortunately, but we do have the Toad Town Inn, or just the Toad Inn. And look at him, he's so cute. He's just all got these little earmuffs on. He's nice and warm. He's got the fireplace going. I really think this is cool attention to detail, by the way. The other fireplace that we looked at wasn't going, I imagine because the penguins were already warm, but this toad, because, he doesn't have all the flubber on him, had to turn on the fireplace. I say it as if it's an electronic thing. He had to, like, start up the fireplace in order to keep warm because he doesn't have all that flubber. I think that's pretty cute. And past the snowman here, which is a nice touch, I like it a lot, we have the shop. It's always good to be in a city with a shop so you don't have to go back to Toad Town to get everything. This place is a life shroom in case you get murdered or die or whatever. As a regular super shroom, some maple syrup. If you want to, taking someone out on a date and you want to see the stars, you can be like, oh, don't worry, I've got some shooting stars right here. Or, I mean, I guess you have a snowman doll. The one time in the Mario series that the snowman doll actually shows up in the snow. Not really, but I'm still salty at Mario Party 6. Then we've got a fishing spot here. This was originally an ice skating ring, but now you can just go fishing. I don't know if there's any fish in here whatsoever, but maybe if people want to just throw some fish in there specifically for fishing, I guess that could work. Now what's cool about this building here is that it has a second floor, but not only that, the second floor gives you access to the roof where you can slide down and then access the chimney of this house here and just completely infiltrate someone else's home. And it's not really the kindest thing to do. I mean, this fellow here seems like he has a bit of cleaning up of his own. And he has some books everywhere, but you know, it adds some character to the town, being able to run along the rooftops and enter people's homes unannounced. But these two-story buildings are actually pretty sweet. I don't know if I take this one or the other one. Having roof access I think is pretty cool. I'm not really sure if it's my cup of tea overall, you know? Because look at this, look how large the steps are. You have to like leap on top, and you'd have to do some clearing out here. There isn't as much furniture as there is in other areas, but overall, I do think this city is a pretty solid find. I think that the villagers here are really kind and really cute, and like the access to Toad Town is really sick as well. The main concern is that there are enemies on the path outside, so if you ever want to just kind of go on a walk out here, you're gonna be running into some piranha. Oh no, not those guys. Yeah, piranha. I was gonna say piranha plants, but these guys are a little spooky. They're just gonna be licking you. Look how close they are to the gates of this place. Like, you take a few steps out, and then they're already trying to come at you. So you'd kind of be a little bit secluded here. Like, if you were in Koopa Village, you could walk around a bit and not really be worried. But in this place, you kind of have to stay a bit isolated, and it's up to you to think if that's worth it, or decide if that's worth it. Starborn Valley. I have a big feeling that a lot of people will forget about this village because it doesn't play like that large of a part in the story. You kind of just come here once and never really return again. It's off the beaten path, unlike every other town in like the entire game, but this place is just so wholesome. So if you don't know, this is where all the little stars are born. This is where Twink was born, I imagine, and they grow up to be the big stars that can grant tons of large wishes. So it's really cute to be able to see the star children kind of grow up here. I guess you can call them star children. They'll like grow up here and become big old stars that can grant wishes for everybody. I find that pretty wholesome. You've got another toad in here and a save point as well. Like, so you kind of have your basic necessities. The main problem with this place, which is probably why you wouldn't want to live in it, is that it doesn't have a store, and it doesn't have quick access to Toad Town. And if you don't have quick access to Toad Town, by the way, you miss out on the cooking, all the different kinds of stores, all the different kinds of entertainment, you miss out on being connected to all the other parts of the world, and you just live a more isolated life. That's why access to Toad Town is pretty useful. And with this thing's lack of access to Toad Town, you would have to run this path over here, which we will not go down. And you would have to encounter tons of piranha plants, those like weird seal guys that we saw earlier, and it'd just be a bit of a hassle. But if you're okay with living a more isolated life, then I see no reason why this place couldn't be the place for you. I mean, even if you look inside here, you got like a fortune teller, peer into the future kind of thing, and look, the fireplace is on again. And the room structure looks fairly similar to the one that we saw in the previous town, so it's not too different of a vibe, but it just feels so nice, and the view is just nice as well. It's really hard for me to decide because I really do enjoy being around like the little cute little star kids here. I think it's really nice. Like look at this guy, dude. When I go up into the sky, I want to grant all the wishes of everyone in this valley. They take good care of us and always stand up for us. Like, that's the kind of positivity I want to surround myself with, man. It's so hard to choose. The penguins are cool too, but they kind of think you murdered someone, like, immediately, like, as soon as you kind of get into the town, so I don't know if I like them in comparison to the stars here. Now, I know what you're thinking. ZoomZike, why don't I deserve to live in the Crystal Palace? And I'm not saying it's a bad choice, it's just that like, this place is beautiful, don't get me wrong. You have like the stars on the pillars here. I'm trying my best not to say architecture, guys. I swear I'm getting better at this. You have this enormous piece of glass. I want to call it a mirror, but it's not really reflecting, so I'm not sure if it's proper to call it a mirror or not. So I'm just going to call it just an enormous piece of glass, this huge wall of glass that stretches to the top of the ceiling that we can't even see. You need to remove this. You need to furnish this whole place. This hallway is absolutely huge. Again, this is less of a home. It's more of a palace, it's more of a dungeon, and if you want to get to the other floor, well, buckle up, buckaroo. Bam! You have to hit that switch, and you have to wait, almost like it's like a reverse elevator or something, for the floors and like the entire place to move around and rearrange itself, just so you can get to where you want to go. You have to keep walking through these hallways. There's like exploded holes everywhere. Like, how in the world are you even supposed to navigate to different locations? You know what I mean? Because like, in order to get to different rooms, you have to make sure that the floors are at the right angle, you have to make sure that you're hitting the buttons and making sure that they're at the right color. Sometimes you may not even be on the right side of the glass. So it feels like if there's any place that's going to have a map for it similar to the ruins of Chapter 2, you know, the ancient ruins, the ones that are just buried in sand everywhere, then this would be a very similar location to kind of have that ordeal. Look at this, like, you can fall off here. I mean, there's an invisible wall, and I'm not really sure if that would come with the estate, but the fact that there's a, look, I can't even progress. There's not even a door here. You would get lost in this place. Like, I totally understand. Look, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful location, but it's not really close to Toad Town. You would have to walk far away in order to get there. You're absolutely isolated by society. Get it? Isolated because it's, whatever. Like, I don't even know if it's worth going through the rest of it. It's just more and more of these super long, tall hallways. It definitely doesn't feel like a place you'd want to live in. There's there's definitely not a heater or air conditioning. I doubt you would need air conditioning, but there's certainly no heater. I'm pretty sure it might burn down part of this place. I just don't know if it's worth the trouble, and I'm trying to save you guys time. I'm not trying to ruin your dreams and living in a crystal palace or anything. I'm just trying to be realistic. Like, yeah, there's a save point and everything. There's just so many holes to drop down into. Everywhere you go is a dead end. I'm sure once you know how the place works and you kind of get a good outlook on it. Like, look, I just ran into another one here. I don't know. I feel like you can do better. In fact, I do have a better place for you. I take back what I said about Starborn Valley, that one star place that we saw, like, down below on the petulant ground. Here we're up in the sky by the stars in Star Haven. You can see the wonderful water, these trees here, which just for some reason have stars in them, and look, they sparkle when you hit them. Isn't that cute? Can you imagine walking out in the morning, hitting the tree, and it just gives you a lot of sparkles? You have like these stars which are a bit more grown up on their way to be granting wishes, I believe. You have these stairs that lead up to the higher upper parts of the town. I was gonna say city, but this is most clearly not a city, because if Toad Town's considered a town and not a city, then I have no reason to call this a city. The main problem here is that it doesn't have any true indoor areas. This is, you know, their idea of an indoor spot. You've got the bed here, you've got a chair, I believe. I don't know, isn't it funny how all the chairs just are way too big for anybody? At least, like with the other areas, you might be able to say, oh, people larger than Mario, but here, clearly, it's mainly stars, so why would they need a chair? Maybe if they're having guests or something, I don't know. But there aren't any true indoor areas. I mean, I guess this place, like the inn that we were just at, has a bit of a ceiling to kind of prevent anything from falling, but we're above the weather, right? We don't have to worry about rain or snow or hail or anything like that. So do you actually need an indoor spot? Can you not just chill in like one of the buildings, like right here? Can you not just chill in here? Find a little bed here, you know, make yourself at home, maybe expand the place a little bit, look out at the stars, assuming you can breathe everything here just like Mario. I don't know, there's something, look at the veil in the background. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Like, the veil, I think this veil is like over the entire city, or I said city again, the entire town, and I know the steps are large, but if there's any place that I would like make a lot of accommodations for it to live in, I feel like it would be Star Haven here. Because you even got the item shop, and this place has shooting stars, of course, has the life shroom in case you die for whatever reason, you know, a bad case of death. Like, all the visitors and stuff are really wholesome, all the, you know, inhabitants are pretty wholesome too. The only problem is that getting to Toad Town can be a bit of a hassle. You have to kind of take a road all the way back, you see? And there are some flames along here. We haven't really seen any yet. Yeah, you can see some flames down there. You have to take this road all the way back to Toad Town, and dealing with the flames or the spirits or whatever you want to call these guys in order to get back to Toad Town is a little scary. Not to mention the idea of falling. So if there was some kind of system that you could set up here in Star Haven to make it so you can get back to Toad Town easier, then this would most certainly be my pick for where I would want to live in Paper Mario, I gotta be honest. But of course, we can't forget about the Star Spirit Sanctuary, I guess we can call it. So imagine if you were to kind of you know, it's kind of mean, but let's just say you were to evict all of the Star Spirits here. Say, hey, you know, I'm living in the Paper Mario verse now. I'm living in your guys' world. Please just leave. I kind of want this place as my own crib. It's like, I don't know, they probably think you're kind of a jerk. I wouldn't really take these guys home away from them. Just bunker up in Star Haven, would you? And now we have made it to Bowser's Castle, which you have to fly to and fro from. There is no access to Toad Town whatsoever. You would have to fly back to Star Haven and then walk all the way down there. So if you're here at Bowser's Castle and this is your home, this is where you are staying, dude. You do not have many options, and people are probably going to think you're on Bowser's side. Bowser's probably not going to be happy with you telling him to just leave his area. But let's just see what we got here. Okay, so you enter the house, you already got tons of Bowser's minions, you're gonna have to clear them out, but assuming you can even do that, there's lava all the way down there. How are you gonna get rid of that stuff, huh? How are you gonna get rid of that stuff? You can't drain all that lava. Like, it just, like, if there's any house or home that is the definition of a fixer-upper, this is the one. You have to be, I can't, okay, no, we're moving past that. You can't even get a few words in. Look, you can see there's buckets of lava just pouring over and over again. You guys see that in the background? How are you supposed to deal with this area? Like, I get it, rooms like these might look kind of cool, but I feel like it's only a novelty thing. Because be honest, if you're trying to get to the kitchen from your living room and you're seeing these big blocks of Bowser heads here, like, are you really going to be okay with seeing them the 50th time in a row? I mean, the Bowser door is pretty cool though, I'll give you that. This room has its own save block, which is pretty cool. You got some stairs going up here. Like, if there was any area that I would say is the most livable in, I would say it's this. So you kind of have, dare I say, is this a window? Is this a window? Can you fall out of this? Let's just say it's a window, okay? I know it's not, but for all intents and purposes, let's say it is. You got the chandeliers up there with the wonderful flames. I believe those are similar flames to the ones we saw in the ruins back then. You have nice designs up here on the wall. Again, you can look out here, like just into the sky. You can probably see Toad Town way down below. And this place kind of branches off, or this location of or this room, I should say, has enormously high ceilings, super tall ceilings, and you're able to go to like 4 different rooms. Yep, there's an item shop here, which is pretty cool. You got a spiked Goomba, you know. So he's actually helping you out. He's giving you the stuff that you need to live. No life shroom, which is a bit unfortunate. You know, you got the Thunder Rage. You got attacking items, but not as many food items as I would really want. There's like javelins here, spikes everywhere. There's, like the ball and chain and just chains in general. It just doesn't feel like the most clean place. Like, can you imagine this being the shop that you go to like every week or every couple weeks to get your groceries? I personally wouldn't really like it. And then you got long drawn out hallways like these, which were just designed for Mario to drain the water and deal with all the puzzles. They're just not worth it in terms of a home sense. And oh gosh, I just had to skip ahead, because could you imagine having to deal with all of these bullet bills, the bill blasters, the bonsai, whatever you want to call these things. They're just so annoying. Oh, they're like the main problem with this place isn't the space or anything. It's the fact that a lot of the architecture is designed around hurting you, right? It's Bowser's Castle. What do you expect? It was designed to hurt Mario. So if you decide to make this place your home, then you would have to deal with all the atrocities that come with it. And although you're getting a home, I don't know if you have the coinage to like afford contracting tons of people to remove this stuff. It would take millions. I wonder how much Bowser's Castle would cost. Just like some flying castle with all these, like, you know, all the stuff inside of it, right? All the bricks, all the enemies and stuff. I wonder if you would get some deductibles for something like that, like, oh, this place is infested with these guys, like, we can't have that, and then they would say, okay, $100,000 off. I don't know how that stuff works, but regardless, these bullet bills really make this place a no-go for me. Oh, and then this place is just a labyrinth. Oh, as I was saying, this place is a labyrinth. In order to get to where you want to go, you have to literally enter the wall of the castle, which may look weird, and you might be wondering, oh, this is some alternate path, right? Nope, this is exactly the main path. There's a save block here to prove it. And when you enter through the second Bowser door here, you have to walk on the outskirts of the castle. That's right, you risk falling off. I know in Star Haven there was kind of a risk with that, and it was like a little similar, but here there just are no barriers whatsoever. And let's be honest, if you were to fall off in Star Haven and you were to go like, ah, you know, and fall down and whatever, I'm sure one of the stars might be able to save you. I don't think any of the enemies will be able to save you though, because they probably just won't really care about your existence. And if there's anything, oh, another save block. And if there's anything else that really tells you just how dangerous of a place this is and why you shouldn't live here, let me show you this. There are people imprisoned here. Granted, they probably didn't do anything wrong, considering Bowser's the one that imprisoned them, but this place has a jail cell. Like, look. You might call me a hypocrite. ZoomZike, you were complimenting the jail cell in the Koopa Bros Fortress, but like, that was a cute jail cell, okay? The Koopa Bros Fortress is kind of a cute little, we don't take this seriously jail cell. Look at these beds, dude. They expect you to actually live in here. There's actual, like bars and everything. Like, people are actually locked up. The Koopa Bros one, there wasn't anyone locked up for a lengthy period of time. I'm not a hypocrite. And look at this hallway. In order to progress to the places you need to go, you have to solve a riddle. Granted, you know, you're probably going to understand how the riddle works, kind of like a passcode yourself, but imagine if visitors were here. It's like, oh, okay, so just take the stairs, and then don't take the stairs 2 times in a row, then take the stairs again, then don't take the stairs, then take the stairs once more, then you'll get to my room. That's just ridiculous. Look, you're a smart fellow. I trust you. I trust that this isn't going to be your decision. I trust that Bowser's Castle is not the kind of place you want to be in, so we're not going to go through every single nook and cranny of that dumpster fire. Alright, we've finally made it to Peach's Castle. It's going to be the version, you know, I can see how some people are going to get things a little bit complicated, but for all intents and purposes, because there is no post-game in Paper Mario, let's assume that you're in the good Peach's Castle. You're not in the Peach's Castle that's floating up in the sky where Bowser is or whatever. So even if I switch to using footage of that Peach's Castle, just assume that there's Toads around, maybe Peach is there, maybe, you know, Mario and Luigi visit every now and then. Man, that kind of makes this choice overpowered. It's right there at Toad Town too. But anyways, let's see what rooms we have access to. Now this place is pretty cool, you know, it's gonna, oh, it doesn't seem to open, I see. So only certain rooms are gonna be of access to us, so I guess we are gonna have to switch over to the other Peach's Castle, but you kind of get the point. Now, oh, okay, so we have a cooking room here, so you can just kind of check out the cooking room whenever you want. You can come over here, you can go, you take some eggs and throw it in. You gotta cook over here, the good old Princess Peach chef. You know, maybe it was taught by the princess herself. And it doesn't seem like any of the doors really want to open. The only other door that we can kind of get to open and actually check out is Princess Peach's room here, which this guard will most certainly let us pass after we bug him a bit. So we can see, you know, maybe you want to chill in Princess Peach's room and make it your room. So we have a lovely couch here. It looks really, really comfortable, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to lay down there. We've got the fireplace, the very cheeky fireplace with a big fireplace, and what a cozy fire. Very nice, very nice. As we all know, there's a little button up here. We've got the dresses. You know, just for you, I'll throw in the dresses in case you want them. These are cosmetics. Mario looks fine without them. You'll love to see it. And then you've also got, oh, this bed looks so comfortable. Quite a fluffy bed. It looks like this bed was designed for sweet dreams. Oh my gosh. This room, as you can imagine, was designed for Princess Peach. So it's gonna have the highest of quality stuff that Mushroom Kingdom can find. Oh no, we can't actually see the balcony. Darn. And I think that's pretty much everything that we're able to see in like the beginning Princess Peach's castle here. Unfortunately, we don't really have anything else. I guess we're gonna have to swap over. Alright, here we are. We are in the dark Peach's castle. But as I said before, just assume everything's bright and happy and it's right next to Toad Town. Everyone's good and stuff, because this version of it most certainly is not very happy. And don't worry about the shaking of this wardrobe here. In a room like this one, oh yeah, that's right, this was the quiz show room. So you can just kind of, you know, chill out, have a little quiz, you know, get roasted by Koopa Trolls. Wait a minute, there wouldn't be any Koopa Trolls in this kind of version. I was thinking about the quiz show during the game where Peach has to face off against Koopa Trolls and like a Hammer Bro or something like that. I assume that Bowser's minions would not be invited to any quiz show you attend, but I digress. On this back door here, we may enter kind of what seems to be a dining room. I kind of hesitate there to call it a dining room because it doesn't really look like there's much room for more than one person. This feels like the place that the princess would just kind of sit at and then be served her food and then just kind of leave, you know? It doesn't feel like anyone else is going to pull up chairs to this because there is only one chair. But hey, if you want to live in this place, then I'll give it to you, man. You'll be the king, queen, whatever you want to be, the monarch. Now this room is cool because this chest here connects to a chest that's around the Shooting Star Summit. It really makes me wonder what would happen if you decide to jump into this chest. Would you be able to teleport? Only items can be placed in here. There's mirrors everywhere else. It's just a very mystical room that I'd probably spend a bit of time in if I lived here. And this is the library. There are tons, and I mean tons of books. There are so many here. Look at all the books. You could barely make it up to the balcony of books up there. Like, what are these books of? There's a life shroom up there. Who left that life shroom up there? Like, there's probably books on the history of the Mushroom Kingdom, how good mushrooms taste, you know, making a tier list on how good mushrooms taste, making a tier list on how good Mario enemies taste, making a tier list on... But what really freaks me out is how large this door is. No one has ever been able to give me a good explanation for this, and I've never seen anyone talk about it. Look how big this door is. Now watch us go through it. What? Okay, look, the top of Mario's cap is at the bottom of the star, okay? Cool, we're in agreement. The top of Mario's cap, bottom of the star, alright? No way. Like, look at that. Look at how huge of a difference that is. I don't even need to, like, zoom in or anything. This is crazy. Do we shrink when we go in the library? Is our brain that small? And the last conventional room we've got here is the room that Bowser used to write in his diary. There's a lot of books around here. There's a lamp, there's a vase. It's not really anything too special. It's probably just a place you can come to chill. Maybe if you're into writing or just writing your own stories or drawing or something, you can kind of come here because it's away from the commotion of everything else. Oh, and not to mention that you can get here via your room, so you don't even have to walk across the hallway and chit-chat with people. You can just go directly to your diary room right here. And the last little part of this castle, despite it being extremely large, we don't actually really need to talk about it that much, are these super ridiculously long hallways. All they do is lead up to the very top of the castle, right around here. You've got all these stairs you've got to climb up, you have all these windows, and the view is beautiful, but you're not going to see this exact view, because again, we're trying to imagine that this place is on the ground. And look, just like Bowser's castle, there aren't really any protections or any railings or stuff, so you can easily fall off. You can see another one of the towers in the background. This is a place that you would come for a view. And the last little bit is this tower. Now, once you get to the top of the tower, you know, Bowser's gonna kind of want to scuffle with us, but we're gonna have to ignore him because we're trying to look at architecture, Peach. We're not trying to look at anything else. Yeah, look at that cutscene play, man. Oh, she's just waiting for us, but Mario's like, you know what? I'm just looking for a place to stay. I'm not really interested in anything else right now. And it really makes you wonder, because this little bridge here was made by Bowser, so why is there a hole? Oh wait, there's a hole because there's like, oh, you see that? Because like, it looks like that this originally had some... I'm totally lost in the words right now. It looked like there was some like bricklayers or whatever here, and it was like bashed in so that there could be kind of a bridge to the end. But that's pretty much Peach's castle. Welcome to Toad Town. What's probably gonna be, I imagine, most people's answers when it comes to the question of where would you live in Paper Mario, and I find it funny that we're doing it last because, you know, you don't have access to all the places in Toad Town on the earlier chapters. You get those pretty late, so I feel like it's fair to do it last. Let's start off with this guy's little, yeah, I don't know what to call this. It's just kind of a pigsty, but he has a lot of books. He's kind of nerdy and stuff. He could be a little bit more clean. I'm sure if you had this place, it could be a bit nicer, but it's a bit small. The same is true for this place as well, this little home. I mean, what's worse is that it's home to 4 people. There's like no couch, no bed, hardly any furniture. There's nothing in the fire. Wait, is this a fireplace? This thing right here, is this a fireplace? Where's the smoke supposed to come out of? Am I blind? Like, what am I looking at here? Is it just a brick wall? It just looks to be a brick wall. Maybe it's not supposed to be a fireplace, but there's like some shadow that, oh man, I gotta get out of this place. The pond here is something special, and of course you have the visitors. Like, if you're a bit of an extrovert, or you just like spending time with a lot of people, Toad Town is definitely one of the best choices because of just how many people there are here. You're always gonna have someone to talk to. And of course we have the item shop, which I just cannot seem to shut up about because there are 2 item shops in this place. We've also got, I don't know, this guy who has a mustache or a frowny face, depends on, you know, how you look at him. But who cares about that? We have to see the one, the only, the master, the dojo that you can come to train. So if you're just kind of into martial arts, into karate, you know, kung fu, whatever you want to do, man, I'm sure this guy knows it all. I mean, if you faced him, you would surely come to that conclusion. And now we enter the mid-sector of Toad Town, where there's even more stuff to do. You can get your fortune told over here. Like, come on, man. Like, there's an actual fortune teller, like a real fortune teller. One where, like, you can actually feasibly see the results. Like, he'll tell you, hey, there's this thing that you will encounter in the future. He's like really specific, and you'll find it. It's kind of crazy. Oh, look at this post office. It's the only one in the entire Mushroom Kingdom. I just can't get over that. No wonder Parakarry is so overworked. What would this town be without a good old save block in case you die anywhere else, or the good old Toad Inn, which is just as small as all the other ones. I personally like the Star Haven one the most. This one's alright. You've got a badge shop over here, but unfortunately, Mario's purchased all the badges. And to the bottom right sector over here, you have access to flower fields, and that is really what Toad Town is all about. Not the access to flower fields, but it's connected to almost everything. Here, let me show you. If we go over to the map, you'll notice that Toad Town lets you go to Forever Forest, it lets you go to Pleasant Path, which is Chapter 1, Forever Forest, which is Chapter 3, you could take a train down to Chapter 2, there's Shy Guy's Toybox, which is Chapter 4, you can go all the way to the Yoshi, Yoshi Village and stuff to Chapter 5, you're able to go to Flower Field somewhere, it's somewhere on the map, Chapter 6, you could take some kind of warp pipe up here to Shiver City to Chapter 7, and you eventually use that to go up to Bowser's Castle. It's just, Toad Town is the middle of everything. That's why having a blue warp pipe or quick access to Toad Town is so important, because it's the center of all things in the Mushroom Kingdom, which is part of the reason why living in Toad Town is kind of a cheat code. If you go a bit more south here and head east, then you'll be able to go to Forever Forest and eventually the Boo's Mansion that I mentioned earlier. But if you head all the way up here, then you can see the Cook, where you can make all the mistakes you'd like. Below that, we've got the Toad Town Sewers. Well, it says private, but it's the Toad Town Sewers. In which case, I guess we could talk about it a little bit later. South Toad Town doesn't really have too much. You could take care of your little oinks, I believe they're called. There's no little oinks right here. Hold on, give me a sec. Yes, create one. Now we can destroy the egg. There we go, now we have a little oink. You can have your own little oink farm. I guess that's cute. And at the bottom here, we've got the train that leads to Dry Desert, which you probably wouldn't be using too often, because, you can just take the blue warp pipe to Dry Outpost, but if you'd like to use the train instead and travel across the desert, you have the option here. Now, something you're probably beginning to notice is that although Toad Town is a really good center area to get to pretty much everything you could ever need, there aren't really that many houses that are good to live in, at least not the ones we've seen, which is probably why Princess Peach's Castle is the one you'd want to choose if you want to stay by Toad Town. But we've got this little location here, which also leads to the sewers. Here's the second item shop, again, another thing I can't shut up about, which has a different array of items. Now, I feel that's a bit important to mention. It's not just the same stock. This one actually has a stone cap. I believe the other one definitely doesn't have a Volt Shroom. And if you look in the back here, this is the perfect living space. Oh, I totally forgot about this building. Okay, I take it back. I feel like this building has probably the most potential to be a livable one in Toad Town. Again, it's still not huge, but if it's just one big living room, maybe you can put like a wardrobe where I'm jumping over here. You know, you have your little sofa here. Maybe get a smaller table. You can probably put a TV here. Maybe like hook up, put a table right around here and a chair here, and then set up like a computer, monitor kind of setup here. Take out the fireplace, probably put some more storage over there. It'd definitely be a tight fit, but it's really your best option if you want to live directly in Toad Town and not in Princess Peach's castle, at least I think. Now, when you take a glance at this yellow building, you might think to yourself, oh my gosh, this is absolutely perfect. There is so much space. But when you go inside of it, you kind of have this storage room. There's like this false wall here, or false door, whatever you want to call it, and that's pretty much it. Then it's just Shy Guy Toybox time. Actually, now that I think about it, if you choose to live in Shy Guy's Toybox, would that technically mean that you're in Toad Town? Is that what that would mean? I guess it would. I mean, according to the map. Now that's a cheat code. And the last little sector of Toad Town, we've got, well, the west sector. This one, I believe, is dedicated to fishing. There's a lot of fishing materials over here. Oh, you've got that little fuzzy guy over there. You've got some boxes, probably full of bait or fish or whatever, you want it to be. You've got a whale, a tuna. I believe he prefers being called a tuna, not a whale. And this leads out into the ocean. You could take this guy over to the Yoshi Island. It's not really called, it's not called Yoshi Island. I know some people are going to say, look, it's not called Yoshi Island. Stop calling it that. I get it. Look, I'm just going to call it that just to make people upset. And speaking of that big old tuna, you might think, oh, why would you take that thing when you could take the warp pipes? And again, I totally get it, but some people like taking the scenic route. But here we've got Club 64, where you can listen to people sing. You can... Actually, this place is pretty large. If you made this place your own, like kind of, told everyone to get lost, you could have a pretty good setup here. You might be able to like set up your desktop, set up your computer like right around here. You might be able to make this kind of a TV area, or you could just dedicate this entire space to storage, have this whole rectangle here be an entire walk-in closet, then have this place be the TV area. You might be able to put like a couch here right by the entrance, TV set up there, and anywhere, oh, sorry Toad, I didn't want to talk to you. Anywhere around here you can put your computer. This place is pretty roomy. I actually think this one's pretty solid. But that's enough about Toad Town. It's time to talk about the sewers. I'm not letting you live here. Okay, I lied. There was actually one more sector of Toad Town, and it's the one that contains Princess Peach's castle, but as you can see, it's completely destroyed. But who cares about that? We're about to go to... I'm gonna be honest, guys. This is probably like my favorite, not my favorite, but this is probably one of my favorite locations in video games. Just gaming in general. Because I played this game when I was like really young, And... I believe I played it alone too. Just kind of played it on my own time. I was just kind of going through it, just walking through it. I wasn't really around everyone. I didn't have like, I didn't have like too many friends because I went to like 3 different elementary schools. So I just kind of, I connected with Mario, his little funny wahoo noises. I just remember going up here. This is one of my most memorable gaming moments. And it's not even like anything super special happened. There's not some enormous significance to this place. There's no actual there's no huge character motivation. There's not a bunch of dialogue here or anything. You just kind of go here and the star spirits are like, yo Mario, we kind of need your help. But there's something that really touched me about this place, and to this day I still can't really figure out why. I might take my answer back from earlier. If I was able to make an entire house, think about this whole, I believe this is an octagon here, and just make your entire house here, maybe branch it out a little bit, have it be star themed, and in the middle of the place you can go up to Starhaven, I think I'd be content. Honestly, I think that might be all I would ever want from life, I just need to make sure that I have a good internet connection. If I'm hooked up with that, and I get to live up in this beautiful place, I think that'd be enough. Below the actual summit is Merluvlee's place. Now, this is probably what I would model my house after, and honestly, this this house is actually really cool. It's got some unique design. It's a 2-story house, so you've got a lot of room. You've got this wonderful thing that you're able to transport between Princess Peach's castle. So if you just want to hop in here and someone grabs you out, I guess you could do that. Has like a lot of vases here, someone to tell your fortune, which I imagine we wouldn't really be doing. Like, unless you decide to keep them and pay them or whatever. Like, look at this place is so cool. It's so unique. Like, I've never been, I'm sorry, like, sometimes I can, like, overreact to stuff, but I've never been in a house that kind of has this, it reminds me of SpongeBob a bit, that has this kind of, what would you even call this, a spiral staircase on the side? There's definitely some kind of architecture, there I go saying architecture again, some kind of architectural term for something like this, but I'm just gonna move on. Oh, but there's so much space that's wasted, isn't there? Like, there should be room in here, you know what I mean? Like, there should be some kind of, like, what if there is, you know, and no one's found in Paper Mario, like there's some secret little entrance. But I personally would, because this whole thing's probably hollow, I'd put a door here and maybe make it a storage area or like some kind of gaming den. But I don't know how much I would actually change about this place other than putting my electronics in here. It's really pretty. Now that I think about it, I mean, we're already here. We may as well get our fortune told, right? Okay, look deeply into the crystal triangle thing, and you'll see the next step you should take. Ah, it's already coming into vision. It's... Wait, no, it's a sponsor! Skillshare sponsoring this video. It's a learning community with a wealth of so many courses to learn about so many things. They have courses on how to play the piano, how to beat someone up in chess, and how to lube a Rubik's Cube by Byron Irwin. I have never solved a Rubik's Cube in my life, but the title of this course intrigued me so much that I had to learn what it was about, and apparently people will take great effort to properly lube their Rubik's Cube using multiple devices such as syringes here to ensure that the cube is slick and quickly rotates when it's being solved. Didn't know this was a thing, but this course has enlightened me. There are a ton of other courses on the site for you to check out, and hey, if you're one of the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description below, then you'll snatch a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so go check it out. Oh, that was close. You almost suffered from a really good deal. I hope we don't run into that again in the future. And the last place, the last option in this entire game that we haven't really covered yet that's a viable option to live in is, of course, the Mario Brothers house. Now, look, I'll be nice. If you're good and you're on your best behavior, then let's say you just live with Mario and Luigi. And if you don't want to and you want to alter yourself, then by all means, let's take a look at their house. So they've got a chair on the left, they got a chair on the right, probably for when they talk and whatever. Now, I'm going to throw in a freebie for this. I'm going to be real generous. This is your stats board. If you choose this as your house, you'll be able to see the stats for all different kinds of things you've done. Like, but it's only going to have like 30 of them. So you know how this one, you know, you got your stats there. That's all you get. Let's say you get 30 of them. 30 random stats of things you've done. Not all of them are going to be helpful. Some of them might be like, I don't know, like how many apples you've eaten or something stupid like that. But let's take a look at the bedroom. You've got like some bunk beds here. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I really like this house. I know it's not anything like super unique or super special, but there's something so cozy about it. I like how they have matching red and green cups over there, or mugs. They have like a matching red and green bed, matching red and green. Like, you can tell that like Mario gets the top one, Luigi gets the bottom one. You can tell that Mario drinks in the red mug, Luigi drinks in the green mug. I don't know why Luigi doesn't have his own like little scoreboard here or anything, but that's whatever. They don't really even have their own TV. Luigi has like installed his own little diary room down here. It's just, I don't know, screw it. Maybe there is a lot of character here. I would not blame anyone for wanting to be in the Mario Brothers home. And I think that's pretty much it. We've covered everywhere, every livable location. Unless you're trying to live in the sewers or some other strange location in the wild where there's enemies attacking you, we probably didn't cover that kind of place, but you know, that's beside the point. I want you to comment down below, let me know, out of all the locations here that we've covered, which one you'd like to live in, if you're gonna evict the people, how you'd remodel it. I'm genuinely really interested. I'm probably going to like add up all the answers that people have, and maybe do something with it. you know, kind of like do a little statistical thing. I might tweet it out. I might decide to do something with that, just because I find the idea really fascinating and kind of interesting. I know it may sound stupid, but those are just my thoughts on it. So comment down below which place you would want to live in this world of Paper Mario. Thank you so much for watching. Consider becoming a member of the channel if you want to support me and help me get a video editor. That would be very, very nice, so I can upload these kinds of videos, you know, a bit more often. And I already said thank you for watching. Farewell. Take care.